After the death of King Henry VIII, Elizabeth was no longer one of a female offspring of the King of England, but the second in the line of succession. She became vulnerable to political opportunists. After King's death, Queen Dowager Catherine Parr married her old suitor Thomas Seymour, brother of Lord Protector. Unluckily for Elizabeth, together with her household, the princess moved to the court where Thomas, in late 30, took a rather unhealthy interest in the princess, 13, and soon, as the situation was no longer under control, Elizabeth had to leave. Thomas was jealous of his brother's influence over the prince and searched the way to gain some power for himself. Catherine Parr's death made the plan of Thomas to marry Elizabeth possible to implement. Even though Elizabeth turned him down, his interest made her involved in the treason, which Seymour was arrested and condemned to death for. The princess was arrested and questioned. Although found innocent, she suffered for many months after. Also, the relationship with her brother went through bad times, and as it soon appeared, Elizabeth was never to see her brother again. Edward IV died in 1553, at 15. The Queen became Lady Jane Grey, but ruled for only 9 days as Mary put up a strong fight to proclaim herself the Queen. Not long after the coronation, Mary became suspicious of her younger sister. There was a big issue that differentiated them. Mary was Catholic and Elizabeth Protestant. Queen Mary's aim was to bring Catholic faith back to England. She must have also remembered that it was Elizabeth's mother for whom King Henry broke apart from the Catholic Church, and made her illegitimate, divorcing her mother, Catherine of Aragon. Mary got married to Spanish Prince Philip II. Spain was the strongest deeply Catholic country in Europe that also endangered England. There was fear that England would fall under the influence of Spain, and a new plot to put Elizabeth on the throne was hatched. Again, Elizabeth knew nothing about it, and although denied her participation in the treason, Queen's close advisor was hostile to the Protestant heir to the throne, and counseled Mary to bring Elizabeth to trial. She was imprisoned in the Tower of London, where so many years ago her mother was sentenced and later beheaded. Princess still declared innocence, however. On Sunday the 18th of March 1554, she was taken by boat to the royal fortress and imprisoned. Elizabeth's existence was a threat to the Queen, but facing lack of evidence against her, together with Elizabeth's great popularity in the country, Mary was forced not to kill her half-sister. She instead locked her up for a few months to ensure no plot will set Elizabeth free. Soon after getting married to Philip of Spain, Mary seemed to get pregnant. The news were welcomed, not by Protestant, with hope to restore Catholic faith in England. For Elizabeth, however, it meant that if Mary was to deliver a boy, Elizabeth's chance to become the Queen would fade, and being a lifetime prisoner would seem more realistic. However, it was tumor that was developing in Mary's body, and it was clear that her days are counted. At her husband's bequest, Mary reluctantly accepted Elizabeth as heir to the throne. It was the lesser of two evils, as if not Elizabeth the Queen would become Mary, Queen of Scots, granddaughter of Henry VIII's eldest sister, Margaret, who was freshly married to the French heir to the throne, François. France and Spain were enemies, so Elizabeth, although Protestant, was a much better choice. Elizabeth was at her childhood home of Hatfield when Mary died on the 17th of November, 1558.
Created using Powtoon.